Everybody's with you when it's all good. Who's with you when bullets are flying? The long story made very, very short is that they met, right? You see the air quotes. They met when they were 19, had no more questions, and 3 weeks later got married. Because it's like they knew each other their whole life. So they just like, yeah, I know everything about you. And so they got married. They picked a minister, they hired a guy, and he said, great, yeah, I'll do it for you. Bring your birth certificates, because I got to fill out the wedding license. And they show up on their wedding day with a couple witnesses, and he said, did you bring your birth certificate? Yeah, they threw their birth certificates down. He goes, wow, this is weird. Never seen this before. And they go, what? He goes, your birthdays. And they look at each other like, they never asked what each other's birthdays were. They've only known each other 3 weeks. You know, you can't get to everything, right? And it turns out they're born the same day, the same year, the same hour, the same minute. Crazy, right? One in Seattle, one in Idaho. And my mom is 50 seconds older than my dad is. And they went, well, that's weird. Okay, well, you know, stranger things, I guess, right? And they get married, and in their wedding vows, I already told you they had no fathers, they never met, they were raised by alcoholic mothers. So in their wedding vows, what their wedding vows said was, we're never going to talk about our past, ever. We know, it was just shit, there's no more to say. We're going to go forward and do it right. That's basically what their vows said, and I read them. Okay, a year goes by, they're married. My mom is now expecting my brother. And they're coming out of this event in downtown Seattle, late at night, raining. They come out and pull up to this stoplight right in downtown on First Avenue. And light turns green, my dad doesn't go. I was like, hey, you gonna go? And he's in a very far away place. And the light turns yellow and red, and he doesn't even move. And she says, what is going on with you? What are you thinking about? And he said, well, we said we'd never talk about it. But do you want to see where I spent 8 years of my life? Every day for 8 years. And my mom said, yeah, I want to know. I want to know. And he said, well, you see that red door right there? In that brick building? That tavern right there. I waited outside that red door every day for 8 years for my drunk mother to come out. When she came out, I'd follow behind with whoever she was with. And that's where I'd go that night with my drunk mother. And at 12 years old, she came out with this big guy, and he said, who's the kid? My mom said, don't worry about it. And well, the drunk guy worried about it. And he turned around and he knocked my dad out. He said he smacked me, knocked me to the ground. And I had enough, and I got up and I ran 4 or 5 blocks checking every open door I could find. I finally found an open door in a warehouse, and I slept in the back of this warehouse that night at age 12 on a bunch of bags of like flour. And he said, that's where I lived all the way through high school, was in that warehouse. I cut a deal with the guy that ran the warehouse that I would sweep it at night and clean it up if I could sleep there. And he ate dented cans of food. That's what he ate for 6 years, all the way through high school. Never told anybody that he lived there. And he was telling my mom this. Anyway, my mom is still at the stoplight, and she starts getting kind of hysterical. And he's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have told you. My bad. He said we'd never talk about it. She calms down, she takes a deep breath. She goes, Roger, she goes, look down the end of the block, 100 yards away. You see that neon sign right there? Same side of the street. See that neon sign? You were that little boy. That was my cabin. That's the cabin I stayed outside of every night for the same exact period of time for my drunk mother. That was my drunk mother's tavern. They're 125 yards apart on the same side of the street. She said, you were that little boy who used to break handballs and throw them against the wall and show off for me. And I used to dress up in dresses and spin around because I knew you would be there. And my dad was like in shock. He's like, I can't believe it. You were that little girl. And my mom says, I remember the night you were punched and hit the ground and you ran and I never saw you again. Wow. Paul Harvey, Stand By for News. That was on Paul Harvey, Stand By for News on their 25th wedding anniversary. Okay, why am I telling you that? They turned 84 next month. It's their birthday. That's really 80 years that they have been together. Think about it. They've been together since they were 4. They didn't know they were together, but looking back, man, they would say they'd never make it through their childhood without that other kid that was having to do exactly what they'd have to do. One drunk mother would come out and walk away, they'd turn, look 100 yards away and go, "Probably see you tomorrow." And they'd wave, but they'd never come together. Crazy, right? Is that the craziest story you've ever heard? Okay, so here's where I'm leaving. If relationships are the end game, you can imagine when I stopped by to see my parents, there isn't 30 seconds wasted talking about anything other than what's really important. I mean, I show up with a couple bottles of wine and some cheese and grapes and crack, whatever, and we get into it. I mean, immediately. You talking about what's important. I mean, hell, they're getting old and we dive right in. And about 6 months, I popped in there, 6 months ago, and I said, okay, here's the question of the night. I said, I think you guys know something about what it means to have an extraordinary relationship. Matter of fact, I know you do. I said, what is the single most important quality in a relationship? I thought it was going to be a really hard question. My mom, give me 1 second. My mom goes, that's easy. And my dad goes, that's a no-brainer. And I could tell they had the same word in them. And I said, well, what's the word? My mom says, I'm going to make you work for it. Get on your space phone. She says, get on your space phone. That's what she calls it. That you say can pull up anything and everything, right? I could just describe it, and it would find it. Get on your space phone, and I'm gonna tell you to pull up a song, and you're gonna listen to the song, and it's gonna give you the answer to your question. And my dad's kind of laughing. It's like they read each other's minds. They know exactly what each other are thinking. And I said, okay. And she says, you're gonna have to know this song anyway because this will be played at our memorial service. And of course, being pretty attentive, I went, our memorial service? What are you getting, the 2-for-1 special coming up or something? And she goes, just play the song, Greg. I said, okay, what am I looking up on my space phone? Can they describe it enough? And, this duet and these people. And I said, does that look like, yep, that's it. And we hit play and sat right there on the counter and listened to it. Now, you thought you came to a little evening with Rick in real estate. Well, there you go. Let's see if you can figure out the one word. Gotta listen to the lyrics. I turned to my mom and I said, this is going a real weird way. If they asked a simple question, I thought I was going to get like a simple answer, right? I said, did I hear this right? You've got some couple, they're on the run for something, right? Who knows who's after him, but he says, this is it. I'm done fighting. This is my last stand. And he gets shot. Okay, he's down. He's heading to heaven. She goes, well, okay, you're out of the game. She picks up the smoking gun that's empty out of his hand and stands up as if she's going to take him on. And of course, her final prayer is answered when the rifles shoot her. And now she's there, and now they're both in heaven. I'm going, my God, somehow you took my question wrong. I mean, what possibly, and she says, Greg, what part of that don't you understand? I said, I almost forgot the question. I was so upset. This is kind of morbid. And she says, Greg, it's a simple word. Okay, loyalty? He says, Greg, who's in it completely with you? to the end. Who would you gladly hand the keys to your life over for? Oh my God. Wow. That's a critical, I'm talking about like normal relationships. She goes, you know what, Greg, all you need is a few loyal people in your life, and that's all you really want. Period. End of story. Everybody's with you when it's all good. Who's with you when bullets are flying? That, and boy, hey, they're old. They're on it. And I started thinking about it, you know? They didn't have any fathers. They learned.